Marine veteran Paul Whelan, Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich, and Russian-American radio journalist Alsu Kumasheva are minutes from landing in the U.S. at Joint Base Andrews. They were among 24 people released in a complex prisoner swap earlier today. Rafael Sanchez Cruz is keeping an eye on this story from the newsroom. You had some interesting conversations today, Rafa.
Yeah, that's right, Leslie. We're looking at live picture right now from Joint Base Andrews. You can see all the media ready for that arrival. And our sister station in San Antonio has confirmed that 3 U.S. citizens freed from the Russians will be flown to Texas for medical evaluation at an Army facility. And tonight, I talked to Washington Post columnist Jason Rezaian, who underwent a similar reintegration process after he was released by the Iranian government in 2016 after being unjustly imprisoned for more than 500 days.
You're no longer trapped. You're no longer incarcerated. You're no longer isolated.
Jason Rezaian says he can relate to the experience that Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich, Marine veteran Paul Whelan, Russian-American radio journalist Alsu Kumasheva, and his Washington Post colleague Vladimir Kara-Murza are going through right now.
Especially when you get on that airplane and are surrounded by other Americans, you realize, okay, this is the end of that saga and the beginning of a new chapter.
That new chapter begins with the reintegration program at a military facility known as Post-Isolation Support Activities, or PISA. A manual from the Joint Chiefs of Staff says activities include medical checks and counseling sessions.
A lot of it in the first couple of days was recounting what had happened to me. A sort of documenting of the experience for myself.
What Rezaian says he wasn't prepared for was facing the reality of returning to ordinary life. He details the challenges in his Washington Post opinion piece titled "Coming Home After Being a Hostage Abroad."
I had to start fresh. I had a wife who had never lived in the United States before. I had to redo all of her immigration papers. I had taxes and penalties that had piled up over years. My credit was destroyed. These are not things that anybody thinks about, and they aren't things that anybody in the government has thought about. Now there are hundreds of people like me who are returned hostages and wrongful detainees dealing with these issues, and so we have to think about the aftercare.
So what can the U.S. government do to help this growing group of people? To start, Rezaian says that Congress can approve the STOP Act penalties on American Hostages Act that has already passed the Senate but is still pending in the House, Leslie.
Yeah, Jason Rezaian reminds us that while these folks may be free, the path to actually reintegration can take a lot longer. All right, thank you. Well, we know this is a night of celebration for the families of the Americans who are touching ground tonight, but we also want to recognize that dozens of others are still waiting for the return of their loved ones, like the family of Jimmy Wilgus. He is a musician from New Jersey who's been wrongfully imprisoned in Russia since 2016. Tonight, this hostage and wrongful detainee flag is flying above the White House for people like Jimmy and to celebrate those who are coming home.